Sri Kalki Purana, Chapter 1, A Description of Kali Yuga. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Achyuta, the unborn, omniscient, and the unlimited Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the destroyer of all obstacles, the shelter of all living entities, and the original speaker of the Vedic literature. He is worshipped with great devotion by the demigods, headed by Indra, the foremost of sages, and by the ruler of various planetary systems for the purpose of attaining all kinds of perfection in life. Before reciting this Kalki Purana, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasa Deva, the author. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, having assumed the form of Kalki, who is super soul of all living entities, established the eternal principles of religion, having appeared in family of Brahmanas, he will annihilate the sinful kings of Kali Yuga by the fire of the poison emanating from his ferocious serpent-like hand while riding on the back of an excellent horse of the Sindh province. In this way, he will protect the pious and re-establish Satyuga. After Sri Sutta Goswami had offered his obeisances to the Supreme Lord in this manner, the sages at Naimasarnya, headed by Saunaka Rishi, said, O Sutta Goswami, O son of Romaharshana, O knower of religion's principles, O seer of past, present, and future, O learned authority of the Puranas, please continue narrating to us the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Who is Kali? Where was he born? How did he become the master of the world? How does he destroy the observance of the eternal religious principles? After hearing these words of the great sages, Sutta Goswami became so ecstatic that his hairs of his body stood on the end. He then absorbed his mind in remembrance of Lord Hari and continued to speak to the sages. Sutta Goswami said, Please listen attentively as I describe wonderful pastimes of the Lord that will be revealed at the future time. These transcendental pastimes were previously glorified by Lord Brahma, who was born from the universal lotus flower when he was requested to speak by the great Rishi Narada. Thereafter, Narada repeated what he had heard to the unlimited powerful Srila Vyasadeva, who in turn narrated these topics to his exalted son Brahmarata. Brahmarata then described these topics of Bhagavata Dharma to Abhimanyu's son, who was known as Vishnuratha. As he was seated in the royal assembly, this narration consists of 18,000 verses. After hearing for 1 week without interruption, the saintly king relinquished his material body and departed from this world. Although the discussions of the glories of the Lord had not ended, after passing away of Abhimanyu's son, great sages, headed by Markandeya, continued to inquire from Sukadeva Goswami in the sacred ashrama. I was present at that time, and so I heard everything from Sukadeva Goswami. By his order, I will now narrate to you these most auspicious pastimes of the Supreme Lord that will take place in the future. O great fortunate sages, please listen attentively as I describe to you how Kali appeared in this world after Lord Krishna had returned to his own abode. After the annihilation, the secondary creator of the universe, Lord Brahma, the grandfather of everyone, who was born on the universal lotus flower, created sin personified, having a black complexion from his back. The name of sin personified was Adharma. By faithfully hearing about, chanting, and remembering the descendants of Adharma, one quickly becomes freed from all sinful reactions. The wife of Adharma, irreligion, was named Mithya, falsehood. She was very beautiful and had eyes like those of cat. They had a son named Damba, pride, who was always very angry and energetic. Damba had a sister named Maya, and within her womb he got a son named Loba, greed, and daughter named Nikriti, cunning. Loba begot a son named Krodha, anger, in the womb of Nikriti. Himsa, envy, was Krodha's sister. From the womb of Himsa, Krodha begot a son named Kali. Kali is always seen to be holding his genitals in his left hand. His complexion is very black, like black ointment that has been mixed with oil. Kali's abdomen is like that of a crow. His face is frightening to behold, and his tongue is red and appears to be full of greed. His appearance is very fearful, and a bad smell emanates from his body. Kali is very fond of playing chess, drinking wine, enjoying the company of the prostitutes, and associating with the gold merchants. Kali's sister was Durukti, harsh speech. From Durukti's womb, Kali begot a son named Bhaya, fear, and a daughter named Mrityu, death. Bhaya begot a son named Niraya, hell. From the womb of Mrityu and Niraya begot a 10,000 sons in the womb of his sister Yatana, excessive pain. Thus I have described the destructive progeny of Kali, who were all blame spears of genuine religious principles. All these relatives of Kali were the destroyers of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, and charity. Because they transgressed all Vedic principles of religion, they were reservoirs of mental distress, disease, old age, destruction of religious principles, sorrow, lamentation, and fear. These descendants of Kali are found wandering everywhere throughout the kingdom of Kali, destroying the people of the world. They are misguided by the influence of time, very restless by nature, full of lusty desires, extremely sinful, very proud, and violent even to their own father and mother. Those who are known as twice born among them are devoid of all good behavior, without any observance of proper etiquette, and always engaged in the service of Sudras. These fallen souls are very fond of dry arguments, and they use religion as a means of livelihood. Teach Vedic knowledge as a profession, are fallen from execution of their vows, and sell wine and other abominable things, including meat. They are cruel by nature and very fond of gratifying their bellies and genitals. For this reason, they lust after the wives of others and are always seen to be intoxicated. They were not born from a father and a mother who were properly married, and they are short in stature and always engaged in sinful acts such as cheating others. They generally reside in a sacred place, live only for 16 years, associated with the wretched people, and only consider a brother in law to be a friend and a relative. The people of Kali Yuga are accustomed to quarreling and fighting amongst themselves. They go to great lengths to groom their hair, wear the best of clothes, and decorate themselves with costly ornaments. In Kali Yuga, a person with lot of money will naturally be respected as a great soul. If a twice born person earns his livelihood by lending money on interest, he will be considered a pillar of the society. The sannyasis of Kali Yuga will be attached to home and property, and householders will be devoid of all power of discrimination. In Kali Yuga, people will blame spear a spiritual master or other elderly person without hesitation. Indeed, people in general will simply become hypocrites, liars, and cheaters. In Kali Yuga, Sudras will accept the charity from others or else plunder others' wealth without discrimination. Mutual agreement will be a sole criteria for solemnizing the marriage of a boy and a girl. People will show sympathy and magnanimity, but it will be simply be a form of duplicity. Forgiveness will be granted only when a person is unable to harm the offended party. In a society of might makes right, people will easily become annoyed with those in the weaker position. Even fools will be very talkative in an attempt to prove that they are learned. People will engage in religious ceremonies but simply to acquire a reputation. If one has got wealth, he will be considered to be a saint. just to bath in a holy place, people will travel a great distance and undergo much trouble. Simply by putting on a sacred thread, one will be recognized as a Brahmana. Simply by carrying a staff, one will be recognized as a sannyasi. The earth will restrict the production of food grains, the current of the rivers will flow very rapidly, and even married women will behave little better than the prostitutes. Because they have practically no attachments for their husbands, those who are twice born will dependent on the others so much so that they will not hesitate to engage as a priest for Sudras. Women will be become promiscuous so that will be easily abandoned by their husbands. Clouds will shower rain very irregularly, and the land will not yield sufficient crops. Kings will whimsically torture and kill their subjects and burden them with excessive taxes. Such unfortunate subjects will finally take their family and belongings and take shelter of mountains and dense forest. The people of Kali Yuga will sustain their lives by eating flesh, honey, fruits, and roots without discrimination. Almost everyone will take pleasure in blame sparing the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. These are some of the symptoms that will manifest at the beginning of the Kali Yuga. In the second quarter of the Kali Yuga, people will no longer chant the holy names of Lord Krishna. In the third quarter of Kali Yuga, there will be an upsurge of unwanted population. And in the final quarter of the Kali Yuga, there will be only one class of human being because God's consciousness will have been long forgotten. When the study of the Vedas, performance of sacrifice, chanting of mantras, and other religion practices thus disappear from the world during the Kali Yuga, the demigods being afflicted due to not receiving their share of sacrificial offerings will take the shelter of Lord Brahma, the grandfather of the universe, who was born from the universal lotus flower. Keeping Mother Earth, who had become emaciated due to great distress, in front of all the demigods, went to the abode of Lord Brahma. There, they experienced the entire atmosphere was supercharged with the sounds of chanting Vedic mantras, and everywhere was smoke pouring from the sacrificial fires. Lord Brahma, the leader of all sages, was sitting upon his throne, conducting a fire sacrifice on an altar made of gold. Here and there were many gardens and orchards full of flowers, fruits, and wood for performing fire sacrifices. Swans, cranes, and other aquatic birds made wonderful sounds as if they were greeting their guest with joy. The swans, cranes, and other aquatic birds were surrounded by intoxicated bumblebees hovering around, innumerable creepers and flowers swinging to and fro in the cool breeze. Thus, it appeared as if they were all offering obeisances and speaking very sweetly, while their guest with a great pleasure. Thus, all the demigods, headed by Indra, arrived in the abode of Lord Brahma. In the distressed state of mind, by the order of Prajapati, they entered the assembly hall of Lord Brahma so that they could disclose him to cause of their grief. The demigods first offered their respectful obeisances to Lord Brahma, whose lotus feet were being served by perfected beings such as Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, as he had sat in the meditation. Lord Brahma is the secondary creator of these three worlds who acts under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus ends the translation of first chapter of Sri Kalki Purana. Radhe Krishna.